What up, motherfuckers?
What's good,
Episode
guys?
7. Damn,
Keeping it
halfway
going.
through the season?
Yeah.
Halfway through the season already?
Halfway. We got 7 more. Shit.
Yeah,
I'm with it. I'm
that's
with it.
dope, man. I've been enjoying these. I say it every goddamn time, but I really genuinely been enjoying these sit down conversations and
Hell yeah.
talking about different things. And this week is my turn for a topic, and Miko and I were spitballing as far as topics, but one topic that I really wanted to sit down and talk about was, the negative stigma that video games has. You know, how many times
Still
does
has.
yeah, or still has, yeah, like people it gets frowned upon to be playing games. And to a certain extent, I mean, obviously
Yeah.
everything in moderation. If you're doing too much of one thing, it's bad, of course, obviously. But nowadays a lot of people are more understanding of it, but still, like, how many relationships or parents or kids, get a bad rep? Oh, all he does is play video games. He's in his room playing video games. But has anybody ever thought about what the positive things of video games does?
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's just a judgmental factor on what people use as this, like the stigma for video games. I think the people that judge it are people that have a stigma for working. There's a
Hmm.
and like stigma is not always negative. Like there's just the status quo of like what the working individual should be doing. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because even if you're not playing video games, there's like a tier on how important you are based off of the type of field you're in, which is crazy. Like, you have people in the medical that have higher tier in medical fields that they'll look down on people like, let's say, in the restaurant industry or like little things like that. But it's like, everything requires work.
Yeah,
And like no matter what you do to be good at it, you have to work hard.
yeah,
You could be a doctor and be a shitty doctor.
yeah.
You know what
That's
I'm
true.
saying? So it doesn't
Hmm.
matter.
Yeah, because I remember when I was growing up, I had a Sega, we had a Nintendo, and we played a lot, but I always just gravitated toward it a lot, and I always really enjoyed playing video games. I would just get lost in
Yeah.
the stories, or just I was so fascinated playing games, and it was always funny because rest in peace to my mom, but she'd always say, "Come eat," and I was like, "Oh, well, right now," and she's like, "Oh, ya está lleno, ya comió Nintendo," like that was a thing.
No,
Like he's full. He already ate. He's full. He already ate Nintendo. Like that was just a joke. But one thing that video games did for me, it helped me focus. Um, I for some reason just like the multitasking, the
Yeah.
the the puzzle solving, just the decisions that you're making at split times. Like a lot of people don't realize that your twitch muscles, your eyes to recognizing what's on the screen, like with a lot of paced games. Do you not realize how much skill that takes and what you're actually building when you're playing games like that? I
Yes,
remember
sir.
I used to play Gran Turismo all the time, and when I would drive my car, I wouldn't be hauling ass, but I felt confident if something would happen, I could like make the
Maneuver.
decision to maneuver. Yes,
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, and I was like, a lot of people didn't understand. I was like, because of my video games, my reflexes were faster. And it's like, what? Like, yeah, think about it.
It's true. Like my thing was I played a lot of different games too, and I love how you break games down into genres, and every genre I feel like improves a different skill set. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like my biggest thing for it was creativity and like it just gaming for me like just helped peak my creativity. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a gamer, you experience so many lives. You know what I mean? You've lived so many lives through the
Literally,
game,
right?
the characters that you've played as. You know what I'm saying? And the experiences you've gained from those, like it's crazy. And some games are educational,
Yeah.
and there's just so much that you can learn from games as long as it doesn't become an addiction or you
Yeah.
don't lean on it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like this that we're talking about it because it's like pros and cons. Like for me,
Hmm.
I know you sharing your personal stuff. I love playing story games. I love the whole idea of like living a life in somebody else when it came to a video game just because unfortunately I'm not trying to give a sob story but my childhood was kind of butt. Like,
Mhm.
I had a lot of negative things I had experienced in my life. There was a lot of things that I just like, it was kind of like I needed to block stuff out, or like
Mhm.
this happened, I didn't want to think about it, or I had a bad day
It was a
with this
getaway.
person, that person. Yeah. And I was
Mhm.
just like, man, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with that. If I go play a game, I don't have to think about that. Cause at
Mhm.
that moment, I'm not me. I'm so and so that I created.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like everything that I would want to do in a situation, you could do it in the game with you have there's repercussions, but it doesn't affect me in real life. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. If
you know what?
I dive over here and tried something and I died, I just come right back. Just kind of
Yeah.
thing, just like or fucking around or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, or like, man, if that guy would have said it to me in real life, man, yeah, I would want to fight him, but I'm gonna go to jail. See, but in
Right.
the game, I'm gonna punch you in your mouth.
Right. I'm
You know what
gonna
I'm
be
saying?
teabagging you just because I can. And shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like in real life, you're not gonna see me at Kroger fucking teabagging somebody because
Yeah.
I crossed them out in the damn oh, my shopping cart hit yours, haha, bag.
Boom.
Like they're gonna be like, yo, what
Right.
is wrong with mans? But in the
I play
game,
video games.
yeah. But yo,
Right.
catch me in Call of Duty, you're gonna see the same sack.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Get some. Yeah.
Tell
That's
your
funny.
mother.
Right. Tell your mother and tell your dad if you know who your dad. But anyways, stupid. But yeah, like I remember like growing up playing games. I used to love it, dude. I used to love playing the games. And
Oh man.
and one thing I would it was cool too cuz like it would get you create like I like how you said the creative thing. It was like you would start thinking like I would play fantasy games like Final Fantasy 7 was like by far one of my favorite games I've ever played. It just like I got lost in that damn game. It was so crazy. It was so
Really?
cool that the chocobos and the summons and like I just thought it was so crazy. I never played any other fantasy Final Fantasy games until Final Fantasy 7. And man, it blew my mind as far as like I got lost. I cried when Ares died and
Spoiler
I
alert.
wanted yeah, and
20 years
I
later.
wanted right shit kill Sephiroth and all this shit. But yeah, man, that shit was cool. And
That's crazy. I would
so
have never thought you were a Final Fantasy head like that.
yeah,
Have you
and
played
I
any others after that?
7 was the only one that I liked and played. I tried to play 8 right after that. I couldn't get into it. I watched my good friend play 10, I think was it? 10 when it came on PlayStation 3. But I never really went back to it. I didn't like the turn based, and then when they started doing the hack and slash, I couldn't get into it either. But yeah, 7 was the only one that really kind of
7 was
stuck
a
in my
great one.
yeah, that was a good one. But one of the so obviously, we're talking about all the pros, and what about all the cons in your opinion? Like from your experiences, like what are some of the cons that you see yourself that the video games did for you?
Um, I
Obviously,
mean, I
there's
guess the
more pros and cons, but yeah, what are the
yeah,
cons?
cause at the end of the day, like, why shouldn't I play video games? No one wants to
Yeah,
say that low key, but I mean, I guess the biggest one is, I mean, it becomes addicting. It
yeah,
can, like for different reasons, like especially for people that want an escape, it becomes a thing. Like, not as really as for a kid, it was an escape. I mean, I technically wasn't like, as a kid, you don't really have a choice. Like, you can't play it now. Oh man, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
as an adult is when it gets different. Like when I got
Mhm.
injured, I got into my car accident that messed my back up and all that joint. I I couldn't do anything for like months. I'm still injured from it. You know what I mean? So it's like I couldn't work anymore. I built up this whole career as a chef and I was doing great. Like I'm, not tooting the horn, but like I was out there in the field. You know what I mean? Going in,
Mhm.
learning as much as I can, growing and establishing myself, and then all that hard work just came literally crashing down from a car crash. And I was like, crap, I had nothing to do. I couldn't achieve anything because my back was so jacked that I was like, the only way for me to achieve anything is if I get on a game and I go do something. I get an
Mhm.
achievement on a game, or I do this or I do that. I played like survival games. I got to build this structure before we get raided, or
Right.
I was leading a community on Halo for a while, and it's like, yo, I got to make sure that we're doing what we got to do. Or I'm at like at meetings, like it's a business meeting and joint like that. With other,
Right.
and I'm like, and like even wifey was like, "Yo, you're doing too much," and I was just like, "You have
Yeah.
no idea." And I'd be like, and I was just like, "You have no idea what I'm going through. Like, I can't do this in
Yeah.
real life." And that's when I was
Mhm.
like, "Shit!"
Yeah.
Like, if I can't do it in real life, instead of me crying and hiding in a game, I need to figure out how to do it in real life
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
get
because
off of that.
you use it for an escape to a certain extent, but then
Exactly.
because I remember when I would like be OD into games, it's just like you catch yourself like eating like shit, not sleeping,
Sleep is
just
big.
Yeah, I remember many nights me and my homeboy, shout out to my one of my best friends, Adrian, and even my friend Skylar, we'd stay up late playing SOCOM for like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, like for the whole summer. You know what I mean? We were young, but still, that you shouldn't be doing shit like that. Like, and that those are some of the cons. Like, you catch yourself like eating bad, eating chips, eating candy, just sitting there for 4 or 5 hours every night for X amount and just eating shit, not exercising. So yeah, those are the cons, obviously. But if you can balance it out, it's good. I mean, I think we said that the creativeness, the
Hmm.
the problem solving, the quick response of your Twitch, and like recognizing, you know, problem solving in a small matter of time,
Have
thinking
you,
of things.
have you seen those memes that I don't know what it's been popping up on my joint lately? Of it's like two pictures, like one of the fridge and one of like a Call of Duty screen, and one of it's like where's the ketchup, and it's literally right there, and it was like enemy 240 meters east, like right
Right.
here by the and it's
Right.
like how the hell do you can see an enemy that far in the game, but
Right,
then
but don't know what ketchup
you don't know
is.
where the ketchup is right there. Like I was like, oh my god, dude, that's hilarious. Like
Yeah.
so yeah, no, it's true. That joy and what else you said? I'm really glad that you said something about movement, right? Because it kind of goes into like I guess defending the gaming industry because it got that stigma of like I don't know if you remember like South Park, all these other joints. Their idea of gamers with these big fat
Yeah.
people that don't sit there. They got freaking pimples everywhere because they don't clean
Yeah.
themselves. Hygiene is huge for people. I know is another
Yeah.
thing, which I don't know why. Just because I play games, I don't want to wash my ass like that. Like,
Right.
dude, wash your ass. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It takes 5 seconds to go in there and wash your ass. Well, not
At
literally. If
least
you
try. At least try to
something,
wash your
you know what I
ass.
mean?
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
but there's people that are like that. That they just smell like
Yeah.
they smell like mothballs, and you're like,
Well,
yo,
I mean,
what the?
there's a bad stereotype for any type of thing in the world. But yeah,
Yeah,
gamers get a bad rep, of course, and bad stigma, like, oh, has no friends, introvert.
yeah, all this stuff.
I of course, but that's just, you could say that about any goddamn thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
there's exactly like what do you got
but
about the
there's some,
office people that be doing their
yeah,
stuff? But I
yeah,
love
the pros
how
and cons.
yeah, I love how they freaking sat there and they changed it now. I mean, the first the remember the first like I wouldn't say controversial, but game changing situation when it came to video games, ha pun, is Pokemon Go.
Hmm.
Pokemon Go made so many people touch grass, it's not even funny. Because that's the
Right,
whole
like get up
thing.
and literally walk
You
around.
have to walk around, and it's not like walk around in my neighborhood. You want that good Pokemon, you got to go to the park.
Yeah,
You want that good Pokemon, you got to go over here. You got to go over
that's well.
there.
Yeah, that's a well. I'm glad you brought that up. That's pretty good. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
and
such
then
a positive thing out of it.
what it did, it opened the world to like, okay, now you can see in the world Pokemon. You see where I'm going from there? Now you got in your phone and you turn over here, you see Pokemon, you're moving it over. Now all of a sudden, we have VR headsets.
Hmm.
Now all of a sudden, everything I saw on my phone on Pokemon was like this. Now I'm seeing people boxing on a VR. They have
Yeah.
workout routines. Remember when the
Hmm.
Wii came out with the Wii Fit, and
Yeah.
then all these other things. I'm like, now what? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
what I liked is what I a thing that I like to say about it is I feel like in anything in life, a stigma. If you're strong willed, a stigma makes you stronger. Because it's
Hmm.
like, you know what? Maybe you have a point. The game that I originally designed doesn't really promote physical health and wellness. How about this? This
Yeah.
does. Now what are you gonna say? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like granted, you could be proving someone wrong, but sometimes that's a motivational factor.
Yeah. I remember for the longest things, and a lot of people like, oh, video games with violence, Call of Duty and just like shooting people. Yeah, and that is terrible. I'm not saying that it's, you know, that people haven't done terrible things because of video games, but I remember having military friends that they'd be like, they'd love playing Call of Duty because it would just help them, like because they've been to Afghanistan and they've been to war, and them playing Call of Duty or those games would just help them with their PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's such a like good thing. Like,
Yeah.
like you're playing a game. Yeah, it's violent, but I'm not a violent person.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a getaway. It puts people at ease. Like, how many people play story games, how you were saying, and just get lost in it, or play RPG games? The world's so big, it's like a sandbox. You could do survival games. There's just so many goddamn things now that
Bro,
it's so cool
yes.
with that. And I'm glad you brought up the whole fit thing too, because it's true.
Yeah.
There's so many pros to it. And like going into the next thing that I want to go is, obviously we have our kids. Like I remember, and I've had talks with my wife,
Yes, sir.
hey, he's playing too much. I'm like, okay, let's figure it out. I was like, I grew up playing video games. I know how it feels and how it is. Like Xander, sometimes he gets a little too crunk and gets loud, but he is laughing, having a good time. He's playing with friends from school. How is that a bad thing? If I'm letting him play for an hour or two a night after he does his homework, takes a shower, gets his clothes ready for the next day, he has A's in school. Like, how could I not let him do that?
It's
But
a
if it's too
reward.
much, yeah, if he's not like ruining anything else that he's got going on, that's like a lot of people are like, oh, don't let your kids play too much video games. It rots their brain or like this and like, yeah, but you just have to balance out. You're the person in charge. You set the rules. You set the tone. So if
Exactly.
yeah, what he
Well
used to get,
said.
yeah, he gets upset. Like I remember he used to get upset playing Fortnite, and I would see him cry or get upset when people are like kicking his ass or he's not doing good. And
Hmm.
I said, "You yell one more time, I'm gonna go in there and turn it off." And one time he yelled one time, I went in there just turn it off, and he looked at me. He didn't say anything. And then another time he was starting to get crunk, and I told him, "Hey," and he stopped. And then I talked to him. I said, "Hey, why are you getting upset? It's because they're doing this, they're doing this, and they're." I was like, "Look, if you're not having fun, then you do not need to play this game. You need to play because this is fun.
Hmm.
If you're not having fun, I will not let you play this." So it changed his brain to be like, this is a fun thing. Why am I getting frustrated? Why am I yelling? And that's the parents' job to do that. Because how
Yep.
many kids have we been in lobbies with? They're dropping the N bomb, F this,
Oh
F
my
that,
gosh.
and just
Yes.
the F word, and, just like going off. Like, if I ever hear Xander say anything like that, I will whoop his ass
Oh yeah.
and take all that
On
shit
site.
away. You know what I mean? Because you have to. How do you not know what your kids are doing when they're playing video games? That's one thing that. Oh, I had no idea. Like, well, you don't know your kids.
Yeah, how do you not know what your kid's doing in your home? That to me makes no sense. No, I 100% agree with that. That was one of the things that I was about to say negative about it is just like the safety net that toxic people gain from hiding behind a screen
Yeah,
has become worse when it
it's
comes to
terrible.
like, yeah, when it comes to like stuff like, like bullying, racism, sexism,
Hmm.
all these types of things. That is rough. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
that's a big con.
it's a big con, exactly. And it's not, it's something that you kind of can control, but like, like I like how they have changed it to like now you can change your audio to the people that's in your party only. But if
Yeah,
you're playing with random people, you can't control that
can't
as
hear
well
them.
by turning it all
Hmm.
off completely. So like the fact that you can turn it on and off is dope, but it's just like the fact that like you still can get messages from people on things, all those other things, like just people. That's been people before games, the social media, all this stuff. That's just the internet, just makes everybody tougher than they really are. But it's
Yeah.
just like when it comes to children, it's hard because you have to censor that information. And
Hmm.
like, I've been doing it with Keimani. I've noticed with Keimani, it's kind of the same thing. Like he first started playing, he gets he'll get really upset if it doesn't go his way, and then I had to calm him down. So then I had to teach him how to be a team player. Him
Yep.
playing with us all in the community and stuff like that has been helping him. I'm hearing him like, "Oh, you said you needed shields." He's bringing shields. Like he's paying attention to what people are saying now, multitasking, helping other people. And I'm like, it's teaching you how to be a team player, and it's
Exactly.
teaching you
Well
how
said.
to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's teaching you how to do these things. And like, yeah, can you learn that from sports? Yeah,
Not everybody plays sports.
but now, yeah, and and sports isn't as easily accessible as a game that's free. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like there's like, oh, they're like, oh, you could put them in a sport league. Yeah, but they're only gonna play it for a season. I'm not saying don't put your kids in sports, but I'm like, if you can't dog what I'm doing, because
Yeah,
there's pros and
exactly.
cons to sports too.
Yeah. Oh, all you do is let your kids play games. I'm like, do you not understand like
Yeah.
the critical thinking, the team building, the leadership? Like I've seen Xander sometimes I've told him this, and he played t-ball for a couple seasons, and now he's playing his second season of basketball, and then he's playing video games. So the whole team aspect, I'm like, hey, sometimes you just gotta sit back and be a follower and be a teammate. You can't be the
The
person
leader.
that's telling people what to do all the time. I would get upset with him. He's like, go to lobby, go to lobby. I was like, why are you telling everybody to go to lobby? There's 10 people in this lobby playing in creative mode. And you're telling everybody to go to lobby because you want to change the mode? No. Do you not you read the room? You
Mm-hmm.
think about everybody else and what's going on instead of yourself all the time. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't think about that." And I don't get mad at him. He just doesn't know.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And that's like the
yeah,
same thing with Kimani with his like with
yeah.
team joint. At first I was like, yo, because you just go grab loot. I'm like, yo, somebody was just trying to grab you grabbing my loot or you grabbing their loot. Like, why'd you come
Mhm.
over? And I'm like, he's only played by himself. He doesn't
Yep.
understand how to play with a team yet. So I
Mhm.
was like, okay, so now we gotta teach him. And I'm like, hey Kimani, make sure when you do it, you go pick a building that's close to us so you're not too far away, but then you get your own loot. I know we
Mhm.
learning how to do this stuff, and now he's a team player. He's great. And
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
but the thing is, there's a counter to everything. So the con and stuff, you can counter it with good parenting.
Yep.
I've seen parents of kids that play games and they actually in it, excuse me, immersive in their kid playing the game, and they're very well behaved, well mannered children. And I've seen them have kids that are in sports and they're cocky assholes because in
Mhm.
sports you want to be the best. In a game you want to be the best, but it's different. In a
Mhm.
sport, you're around other people, you can see the favoritism, you can see all these things, and you're like, I gotta make sure that I'm noticed by these guys because I want to be known as I was the best on that team for that season. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? In Fortnite and all these other games, that shit never ends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you finish season one, season two is the next day.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait next year or the next season that it comes out. The
Mhm.
season two is in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Or like
Right.
24-hour cooldown. Oh my God. But like,
Yeah.
dude, like if you are active in what your kid is doing, games, sports, life, anything like that, you're gonna see how anything can positively or negatively affect them. And as your parent, it's your job to let them learn and grow from these things. And
Mhm.
gaming has so many positives if you control that the factor on how much it controls your kid. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Because they're not old enough to not let it control them.
Yeah, because they
Like,
don't know any better. They just they're experiencing things, and
yeah.
that's you're there to guide them.
Yeah. It's like sugar, bro. It's like sugar, man. Games get the kids hype as hell. They get all excited or whatever. They let it all out. But if you let them get too much sugar, just like I'm like games like sugar, they're gonna get a sugar rush. They're gonna get all jacked up. You know what I'm saying? You kids can get all like, like they're not built to be sitting in front of a screen all day. So you
Mhm.
monitor how long they do it and do all these things like that. They don't become dependent on it because I've seen
Mhm.
like you can get withdrawals from video games as a child.
Mhm.
Like you've seen these tantrums that kids get when you take their
Yeah.
tablets away and all these. That's why I don't like Remy. She watches TV. You know what I'm saying sometimes, but like I'm not giving her a tablet. I'm not. I'm not giving her a tablet. Like Inari. Inari doesn't have a tablet because I'm
Mhm.
like dude, I can't. They already glued to the TV. I'm like read a book. So like now she has like these little booklets that she does, and she always wants to go outside because she doesn't have a tablet. She doesn't have a Nintendo Switch. She asked to play Fall Guys, bro. She plays it for like 20 minutes and she's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need you to stay like that. Not
Right.
because video games are bad, but because I want you to be able to do both. Play your video
Exactly.
game, get your fix, then move on to the next thing.
Yep.
Go and then she'll go outside. And what I love is she'll sit there and she'll play Fall Guys. And she'll whatever, win or lose, and she'll go play Fall Guys
Outside.
outside. And that goes
Mhm.
into the creative mind aspect. Because I tell you guys, man, everyone that's watching, my wife can attest to this. You know, Layla and Kaimani had zero creativity before they met me, right? And I pushed into them. I was like, guys, like, when we were kids growing up, grabbing
Yeah, that's all
sticks
we
and
had.
sword fighting and
Yeah.
playing football, but we don't have a
Getting a
football, so we're
hanger.
using a
That was
shoe.
my bow and arrow was a hanger
Yes. And then like
and a
when
stick.
yeah, and when you play football but you don't have a football,
Yeah.
everyone just takes off their shoes and now we're using somebody's shoe. Like,
Mhm.
bro, there's so many different things that you can do to like make things happen. And like my
Yeah.
kids I would be like, all right, go outside. And they will go outside, bro, and sit down and talk to each other.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's what you're doing inside. I'm like, what are you doing? Go outside and do some shit. You know what I'm saying? Now Keimani's playing like certain games, and he only plays for a little bit of time. And if I catch him like playing too long, I'll be like, all right, you're done for the day. He'll get upset a little bit. I'm like, then you're not playing tomorrow. And
Yep.
I'm like, but if you want to
You
have an
just set that
attitude,
tone. Yeah.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
so you're not playing. He goes, now I say, okay, mine turn off. He goes, okay, turns it off,
Boom.
comes and does whatever. But at first he was like, come out crying. I'm like, why are you
Yeah.
crying? I want to keep playing.
Yeah.
Well, you're not playing tomorrow then.
Yep.
If you become
Xander would do the
dependent,
same thing too.
GG's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he would just get upset. Why? I was like, dude, you just played for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a new day. We got stuff going on. You got to get to sleep. And it took him a little bit. And then now it's just like, I'll go in there. Hey, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. Come in there. Hey, you're done. Okay. In the middle of a match, turns off, walks away. And I'm glad he does that
Mm-hmm.
because I want him to know that, hey, it's okay to play. But when we're done, bro. And I
Yeah.
don't want you to fight me back on it. I don't want to threaten you and say I'm gonna take it away or whatever. It's gotten better. And now I have Geo playing. I have his little setup.
Yeah,
And
that's
he'll
cute.
play like he'll play like Xander like found one game and then he just sticking to it now with Fortnite and he enjoys it. We just find with Geo, he just playing every Paw Patrol game on Game Pass, every like random little and he just playing Banjo Kazooie. He doesn't even know what he's doing, but he's enjoying it. And I want to tell him to get done. He's done too. But
Mm-hmm.
it's cool because he's excited and he's like seeing colors and like, you know, holding the controller. He could barely hold it. But like, I remember when I was little that I would do that. But my parents, they didn't understand because they didn't play games. But I would OD on games. But
Yeah.
with them, I'm gonna be able to because we'll know how to kind of judge it. Like, hey, this is a reward. Have fun. Do this. And there's a lot of pros to it. Let's avoid a lot of the cons that has a bad stigma with it. How you said it, you can control the cons if as long as you know what's going on with your kids with the video games and things. And one other thing that I wanted to bring up that my wife went
Because
to was like, hey,
yeah.
who is he talking to? And I'm like, look, he's talking to people, but like I'll listen in. And I've told him, hey, if something doesn't sound right or somebody's saying some things that you shouldn't, then you should just leave. Don't talk to them. And I leave that to him. So this way he's more conscientious of like what's going on and what people are saying. As if people are saying the F word and gay and this and the N word, like that's not cool. Like don't be a part of that. Don't be in that lobby. It's not okay to be like that. Well, a lot of kids are saying it, yeah, but that's not cool. If they're saying it,
Yep.
that's them. You're my kid and you're not going to be a part of that and not going to be saying that kind of shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
you have to be aware of that.
Mm-hmm. It's true, and then like with me and Keimani, I have him like only people that we know he can be on there and talk to and stuff like that. But then like even when he'll talk to other people and they say stupid stuff, I'll hear him say, "Yo, we can't say that." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So like I'm getting him used to that because like Keimani talks trash, but he talks trash in like it's not in a bad way. Like he'll be like, "Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you, son. Yeah, I got you."
Yeah.
But then someone like
Hmm.
is because like I went in there and I guess he didn't have a headset yet, so it was playing through the TV. But it was so funny because he was just like, "Yeah, got him," but they can't hear him because he doesn't know. But they were talking in the thing, and he got called something, and he was like, and I walked by and I heard, I was like, "What the hell?" So I went in, I was like, "What's going on?" And he's in there crying like he called me a da 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 da, and I was
Yeah.
like, "How are you talking to these people? You don't even have a headset." I was like, "You know what?" I was like, "Let me get him to be able to talk to certain people, so like you only
Yeah.
friends, so like even when he joins me like to play the game with me on like when I do community nights, he can only hear me, Reina, and the select few people I allow to talk to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like he doesn't have anybody added. Like I have mods that don't have him added. Just because
Hmm.
I don't want him to be talking to anybody willy nilly and then something crazy gets said or whatever. It's just I'm like, nah, I'm good. Because I can't
Yeah.
expect you to
Yeah,
have dad
exactly.
mind talking to my kid. But I can
Exactly.
ask you to respect it and just be
Hmm.
careful what you say. But I can't really expect it too
Yeah,
much.
exactly. Yeah, you're playing a game just like he's playing a game. I can't have you change the way you go about playing games. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's nice because like when you get people that respect it, then you understand like people that you can keep around for that type of
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
have
good.
a I remember like right now like shout out to Queen Regurtha, but she'll play with Xander and I've talked to her. I was like, "Hey, I know Xander wants to play with you and I know that you're a little R-rated sometimes, so don't feel like no, 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 no. Like when he plays, I only have him play when I have the kid like my nephews or my kids play." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." She respects that. She's like, "No, no, no. I would never invite him in a game where there's a bunch of adults talking shit, you know?" And that's cool and I respect that. And I've seen other streamers that I've played with and like, "Hey, Xander wants to play with me. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, man. He's like, I'll make sure not to cuss. I'm like, look, he hears cuss words,
Mm-hmm.
but be yourself too. And and I'm glad and I appreciate you reaching out and saying, hey, is it okay? Because he wants to play with us. Because there's a lot of times I tell Xander, like, dude, everybody's being nice to you because of me. Understand and respect that too. You don't get to just play with anybody just to play with everybody. You know what I mean? People are adults and they don't have to play with you. You're a kid, but they like you and you're cool. So hey, you gotta be respectful too and be thankful. So I every time I hear him play with Vanessa, thank you, I appreciate it. I was like, make sure you let people know that you appreciate their time too and GGs and be positive and like that's a good mind state for him to have.
Yeah, and he's doing well because even when he joins up with us and stuff like that, he's doing better with that too. It's pretty nice.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
like
because
it
I tell
too.
him, hey, chill, man. You're not the only person in the room.
He be killing me. But and that's the part where like that's when like us being parents we understand. Like when he jumps in with me and he's talking to me, he's excited. Like
Hmm.
yeah, he'll be talking over everybody. But one, he can't hear anybody else
Hmm.
sometimes. But two, it's like he's excited. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's like at the end of the day, like I can feed into that. I can sit
yeah,
there and respond to him for 2 seconds to let him get it out to know, oh, I got it out and I was acknowledged, and then he's good.
yeah.
I let him
Yep.
say what he got to say, and then boom, he's good, and I can go
Yep.
back
That's
into what I'm doing, or
and
I've
that's cool that he learns that because I'm like, hey, like
yeah,
I was like, don't. I was like, you don't always have to talk. You don't like just you want to say something, say something. Like it's cool, but don't feel like you have to say something the whole time. Because when he's playing with his friends, they're just BSing the whole time.
oh
I got
yeah,
you, like, which is fine. But he knows when we plays adults, he kind of switches it a little bit,
yeah.
and that's cool. That we're going into the, and this is why we have our podcast, not just gamer dads,
Bum
because
bum
we talk
bum.
about situations of being a parent and things like that, and we play games so much and we know how terrible it can be, but there's beneficial things to that too. And segueing into the next topic, we've talked about the pros and cons, how it's good, how it could be bad, and the stigmas, and then our personal experiences as being fathers and how it affects our kids.
Yeah.
But how big is the gaming industry now?
I mean,
People
look
are
at what
getting
we're doing.
scholarships. Yeah, well, look what we're making a living, or not making a living. People are making a living because of video games.
Mm-hmm.
You think about that. Somebody that's like the 1% of the 1% that's millionaires of gaming or esports and shit like that, or run legitimate teams and like $1 million tournaments like year round. You can go be in the Call of Duty league and win in a
Yes, sir.
tournament in a weekend and make 10 G's in a weekend of playing COD. And
Bro,
throughout a
that's
season, you have the
everywhere.
opportunity to make thousands of dollars on top of sponsorships and get to travel and hang out with some cool ass people and meet some cool ass people because what? Video games.
Yeah. It's true, man. It's crazy. And the funniest thing to me is like for everyone that was like, oh man, when you were a kid, it's like you can't make money playing video games. You just gonna da da da. Look at me now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And especially for me, because I didn't like I liked playing video games as a kid, but I had to grow up pretty quick and I stopped playing video games for a hot minute because I just didn't have time for it. Like I was just constantly doing other stuff. I didn't really have time for it. Or it'd be like if I play, it's like when I get off of work for like an hour or two and then I come home. But people be like, yo, when are you getting on? I'm like, bro, I got a life, dog. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't do this right now. You know what I mean? And then like, but I remember when I was a kid and it was asking what I wanted to do, and I forgot what I said I wanted to say. Before I said I wanted to be a tester, a game tester, or something like that for something, because that's when I got into Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the idea of Kingdom Hearts, and the story was amazing. And I got into that and like two other games I can't remember, but I know Kingdom Hearts stood out. I loved that game; it was one of my favorite
Mm-hmm.
games. And then Assassin's Creed came out, and then I loved how Assassin's Creed was tied off of actual historical events, and I was like, whoa, like it's just I learned stuff from it. And I was like, I didn't know. And I was like, yo, what
Mm-hmm.
the hell? So it was just like, I was like, I want to be a video game tester because I'm gonna learn a lot. And people looked at me like, yeah, okay, buddy. Now I'm over here. People don't know there's a game that's coming out called Hyenas. Let me do a little plug for them. I've been doing alpha testing for them for 3 months now, and I'm not allowed to stream it. I don't tell nobody nothing. I can't post anything about
Is
it.
that shooter game?
That shooter game in a zero gravity space. I've been alpha
Mm-hmm.
testing it. It's my 3rd month now. I'm
That's
literally a
cool.
video game tester.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? It's like, what? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's things like that. But like, we were told as kids, and anybody in here, man, you get told, as anybody tells you you can't make money playing video games, it's not true.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, just because you play video games doesn't mean you're gonna make money.
Yeah, exactly. So
You know
there's
what I'm
you have
saying?
to be good at it too, obviously,
Yeah.
because there's some, pro gamers that they're not great streamers, but they're great competitive players.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen when you watch those Call of Duty tournaments or League of Legends, a lot of those guys is a legitimate, like, instead of you shooting the basketball or you going in the batting cages, they're putting in the time to get better at the strategy and doing this and on a game. So like it's the same it's
Very
a
true.
skill. It's a skill just like anything else that you have to put the time in, but yeah, you get the bad stigma. Oh, you're just playing video games 10 hours a day. Do you not realize that 10 hours a day for the whole summer and now I'm going to go play in tournaments and smash a bunch of people and make some money?
Yeah, dude, you remember that Fortnite tournament when Fortnite? I saw this thing. Cypher posted this video a little while ago. It was like 20-minute video. If you guys know Cypher PK, he posted a video about the history of Fortnite, dog. And I sat there and watched the entire joint and was like, "Holy crap, Fortnite came a long way." But what he said was some things that just made me just go like, "Wow, I didn't realize what." And one of them was like when Fortnite hosted its first official skill-based tournament. It was one of the first skill-based tournaments for battle royale style stuff in that aspect when they first came out. But the winner was a 15-year-old kid, and he won like I forgot like $5 million,
Mm-hmm.
and was crowned like the best Fortnite play. That was before Ninja was really out there popping all the other stuff. I mean, Ninja was kind of in there, but the best player. They had a whole Fortnite tournament, the first one ever. I think I can't remember how many $1 million is on the line. 15-year-old kid set for life playing Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
And you know this crazy? I forgot they did like imagine if they did an interview with that kid and was like, "Yo, anything you got to say?" "Hey, mom, remember when you told me I couldn't make money
Right,
playing video games? I got
bro.
you for life." Like, can you imagine? Like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, like it's just video games have grown into such, and it's not just video games like playing. That's the thing. I'm so glad you had this topic. It's not just playing video games anymore. Developers, graphic designers,
Yep.
audio teams, and all these
Mm-hmm.
different things. Like, bro,
Social
like,
media, like they're
yeah,
just involved around gaming. Yeah, dude. It just you could be a podcast host for
four
esport
games.
4 games, But
Yeah,
yeah, dude, it just there's so many different ways revolved around video games that you can make a living. It's true, you really can. Like I tell people like with this whole content creation thing. There's like I like to, and I've said this analogy before. It's like we're musicians and comedians. Like
yeah.
musicians relate to certain musicians, and comedians go on tour with certain comedians, and content creators are the same goddamn thing. Not everybody who is a gamer and plays competitive was gonna get along with anybody or things like that, and vice versa. But there's so many different people that you get to meet because of you guys all have that one thing in common, which is
Yeah.
cool. And it's not a bad thing that we all play video games and we all like thing, because I was watching some videos and they were saying that I forgot the numbers and don't hold me to it, but it was something about 17 million people watch NFL games like at the height and peak and stuff like that, right? And then they were saying a League of Legends tournament was holding like 12 to 13 million people, right? And the based on those numbers, esports is barely just growing, depending on the game. And Robert
Yeah.
Kraft, who the owner of the Patriots, actually has a team, an esports team that he funds, and that team wins and makes money too because he's a businessman. So if you
It's
see money
business.
coming in,
Yeah.
like how do you not like recognize that if you can get
Because
into
yeah,
it?
those people are intellect. If you're in an esport and you're good, you're an intellectual athlete.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, it's just a different type of you're still an athlete. It's just a different muscle being
Yeah,
used.
yeah,
You know what I
because you're
mean?
you're using a controller, you're using a keyboard, you're thinking, you're making decisions.
And you have
You
to
know,
train.
Yeah, and you have to train. So like it gets a bad, stigma. And one other thing that I which is tripped out, which is true, is there's scholarships, college
Yes.
scholarships for Fortnite, for Call of Duty. Imagine, hey,
That's
where you going to
crazy.
college? Oh, I'm going to college at UCLA. I got a scholarship to play on the Fortnite team. What?
Yeah, bro. It's real, dog.
Are you
It's
kidding me?
it's really happening out
Dude,
here,
there's
dog.
scholarships out there, and people making money. Like I know even the army has a Call of Duty team, and they have
Mm-hmm.
soldiers who are either veterans or current, and they play in tournaments and they represent the army.
I
Just
think
how
that
they
was
do,
super smart.
just how they do like a band or basketball or football for the Navy and Air Force. There's teams now for the military that play esports
Exactly.
and they're representing schools and things like that. Like it's not such a bad thing. Obviously, with anything is the pros and the cons, but the way the world is changing and you just being more open at the positivity that it can bring is what I wanted to bring this up for. Like, yeah, my
Yeah.
kids play games. Yeah, I play games. Yeah, so and what? What's so wrong about it? Because you're back in the day, 20 years ago, when it just like, oh, all you do is sit in your room and play video games. But yeah, you know how many people I've got to meet because of video games? I've got to meet you because of video games. I've
Yeah.
got to meet some pretty cool content creators because of playing video games and because of doing
Exactly.
this, because of video games.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy,
And then us turning
crazy.
into a whole nother platform, like, and then just like how it goes into like, there's so many different types of video games. There's so many different types of fields associated to video games. Job opportunities are just skyrocketing now when it comes to video games. Like, dude, one of the craziest things that I've seen that I loved watching, and it just inspired me, like, not to do this because it's weird, but it just inspired me, like, just to keep this creation. If you played that game Hellblade, Senua Sacrifice, watch the video of the sound team. Remember that's the you know the game Hellblade, right?
Ah,
With
damn, I
the
can't
chick
think of
that
it.
suffers from schizophrenia, the like the Viking
Oh,
style
yeah, yeah,
chick.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Bro,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
watch the video of them doing the whispers and all the sounds. And the sound team had to make it so they had this crazy mic, boom mic type joint in the middle of a room, and they were all in the room walking in circles, talking into it, going into it from different stuff. They were literally
I
doing
remember I
that.
played that game for like 2 hours. It was a trip. Yeah, because
Dog,
I remember,
I
yeah, it would tell
love
you
that
when,
game.
dude, that's, yeah, because you're right. Like musician, like people
That's
that,
and no and anybody else look at me like, what the fuck? But like a gamer appreciates it.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I hella cut you off on that. My bad.
No, no, no.
But
But
like,
but you were saying the job opportunities. Imagine I'm a musician and I just got a gig. We're doing the soundtrack to the new Star Wars game.
bro, yeah,
Uh,
you used to be hot, the hot business if you made a soundtrack for a movie.
mm-hmm.
Gaming soundtracks are crazy now. The only people that don't like it are streamers because copyright. But
Yeah.
besides that, like, man, if you played a game, dog, like, bro, that's yo, the soundtrack fire. Who did it? Yo,
Right.
old dude that made this. Dog,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy to be able to put your stuff on something. I mean, like one of the biggest ones for musicians is GTA.
Mm-hmm.
They have, bro, the radio on GTA is better than the radio
I
in my car.
remember. I remember GTA, man. I remember the Miami Vice, and we run so. I was like, yeah, I downloaded that song and shit. I was like on Napster.
Hell yeah! Oh my god, dude. There was another
But
one, bro. What was the other one that used to be that you used to like hear the
oh,
song? You would like turn it on and it would hear the song and tell you exactly what the song was. God, man,
ah,
yo, whoever gets that app, whoever can comment in one of our comments for these videos, YouTube, anything, if you could tell me the name of the app that you could turn it on and record when a song is
oh,
playing and it would hear it and tell you the exact song.
I
If you
remember
could
the
tell me
first
what it
one that did
is,
that.
I will give you 1,000 V-Bucks. On God, I'll do it.
There you go.
Swear, man. I
I
can't
remember
remember.
there's a couple of them now.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them now,
The
but there was a
OG.
first one. The first one that I remember, I was like, what?
Everyone's in
That's
the radio. What's that
crazy.
name? I got it.
I got it right here on my iPhone 1.
Yeah,
But
bro.
yeah, and I like how we pretty much went down our little bullet list of all the different things, and I think we hit a lot of good points, man. And if you guys think that we forgot some, let us know in the comments or let us know in our streams that this was just a topic, and more things that we want to go into that's still related to games and still with parenting and we like talking about different things. So definitely let us know what you guys think of this episode, because with the pros and cons of playing video games as an adult and as a kid, some good things, our personal experiences of playing games and how it helped us get through times or
Oh
just
yeah.
hang out with friends. How many couch play? I remember couch play with some of my buddies, Madden or FIFA. and just shit talking and hanging out,
Yes,
eating,
sir.
eating pizza and just hanging out. It brought us together, and then games that come out. Did you play this game? Oh man, the story was amazing. It's so cool that it's okay now.
Oh my
It's
God.
not it's
Brain
okay
blast.
now to talk about that shit.
Yes, brain blast. I just realized something, what you just said. Remember how couch gaming made us together, like brought people
Mhm.
together, right? We started off with couch gaming, being able to play together when it comes to like trash talking and like being able to be good. We could trash talk and still be happy and together. And now the opportunity of multiplayer has, we're playing with people that are so far away from us
Mhm.
that the trash talking isn't accepted the same anymore. Like
Mhm.
as the reach went out to like not just couch, so did so many people's experiences and toxicity. Because
Yeah.
99% of that shit wouldn't have been said in a couch situation.
Oh hell no.
But isn't that crazy how initially gaming sat there and was like, brings people together. Yo, we're gonna go play Madden at so and so's house. We're gonna play whatever Mario or whatever like that. And you would have fun. There was no bullshit fighting. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you were that much of a dick. But like
Yeah.
now, it's like you're playing online and you're like, that person's probably hacking, or that person calls you the N word for
Yeah.
no reason. And you're like,
Yeah.
damn.
I was playing earlier and I would just like
I walked into that shit.
these guys were just dropping the N bomb and just being so I'm like, dude, it just for no reason. And like and here's a terrible thing. It was so casual how they did it.
Bro, what
So
I
casual. Like it's
oh
that it's just terrible. And that's a con. That how you were saying earlier, people can hide behind their gamer tag.
yeah,
You could just hide behind
hackers
your gamer
ruining the
tab.
experience.
You know what I mean? You could just be a dick just to be a dick. So that goes into what you were saying, the whole toxicity of the city. That's it. No, I'm just playing. But
Bro, it's true though, but like it's toxicity, and the one thing that is growing is aggressive behavior. Raging on the
yeah,
game does it is a negative thing, and I mean I could say as an adult I can speak on it because I rage. I think I rage a lot more than you do. You don't really rage. You just go, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, I wish I
yeah,
was as cool as Jimmy. Jimmy's just
yeah,
cool as fuck. I'd be like, "What the fuck?" Like, but it's like
yeah.
also just a personality thing. I fought a lot when I was younger, and I'm a Taurus, and you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Puerto Rican, I got anger issues and all these things,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? My blood just is like fight. But so it's like,
Yeah.
when I play it, but I'm calming myself down as much as possible because I don't want, because Kaimani's jumping into games. So it's like,
Hmm.
and it's just like, I know we kind of spoke on that, but I just like, what I'm liking is Kaimani did something a few weeks ago with, I'm not going to say who, because people that we interact with and stuff like that, but they were playing Fortnite, they were playing regular BR and they were playing together. But I got upset because they were playing together, and when it didn't go right, this person I was playing with, Kimani, like was kind of like shitting on him, and it was like, "Yo, you missed all your shots. That's why we lost." And then they did all this other stuff, and I was like, "Yo, don't come into my house doing some crap like that. Like, my son doesn't do that to you. You don't do that to me or to him. You guys are gonna respect each other. GG's at the end of it, no matter what happened. You only give praise. You don't sit there and give criticism unless it was asked for." I always tell him that. You know what I'm saying? And then it happened again, but it wasn't as bad. And what Keimani did, I was super proud of him because he was like, you know what? We're not having fun anymore. Let's go play creative and let's just have fun.
There you go.
And I didn't have to tell him that. And I was like, in my head, I was like, yes, like
Right. Good shit.
be that
You
positive leader you need to be.
you did well. Yeah, you
Yeah.
did well.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And then that night I let him play with us when we did the thing because I know he likes doing it. I was like, I'm making sure you enjoy this because you got to maintain that positive
Hmm.
environment because like it's so easy to let the negative out. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And that to me was proof of everyone's like, oh man, video games make you so negative and aggressive. My son redirected it without having me told
Yep.
because he protected his peace. He was like,
Hmm.
one, it's making you frustrated, but two, it's making you frustrated so far that you're disrespecting me and I don't appreciate it. So instead of us turning it into making us fight, let's play something we can both enjoy.
Yep.
And I was
Well
like,
said.
that's perfect, bro. Like,
Hmm.
that's perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And if only grown ass adults were like that shit.
Yeah, and video games is the one that gave him the opportunity to kind of look at that way, and that's in other situations where I know sometimes Xander he'll play sports at school or be running around with the kids. I remember one time like if these kids aren't being nice, you don't play with them. And he stopped playing with certain kids at the park because of it. And they're like, why don't you play? He's like, no, you guys are mean to me. And that's all he had to say. And he walked away. I was all good.
You have to
Like,
teach them that.
yeah, don't be sad that they don't want to play with you. Like, in my head, I tell him, I don't tell him, but I pretty much say, fuck those kids. Fuck those kids and their parents. They don't know that their little kids are little assholes. I will never let my kids be little assholes.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no way. There's no way. And that goes back to just knowing what happens with your kids. Like when I find out kids are like yelling and I was like, do your parents not hear you? Like over here talking shit. You're like, how old are you? 13? Fuck you, N word. You F. Like
Yeah.
what? What? Even if you're just playing around, no. Just like that's not a good way to just portray or even jokingly. That's not a good thing. And just because you're
Yeah.
doing that on a
And you
video
think it's
game and you
funny.
can get away with it, no, that is not okay. And that goes back to the whole con thing. But that's just what the world,
Yeah. But that's the con
people.
thing, but it's like, but that's not just gaming. At that
Mhm.
point, to me, that's personality.
Yeah,
And
and
this
the
is the thing.
internet and
Yeah.
everything, and starts at home. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
because a lot of these I'm noticing, and it was crazy. I was gonna say it earlier, it just came back brain blast. It's crazy what we was talking about with con, you can like change it and control it. Con is control without the last part. Like con is in control. Like
Hmm.
the three letters in con is the three letters in control. And you could turn your con into a controlled situation if you just control the situation. If you don't
Hmm.
control the situation, it becomes a con. But if you do control it, it's no longer a con. It's a controlled situation.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Good
it's
way.
just
Yeah,
it's
good way to think about it. Yeah, of course.
yeah, and it's just like, but at the same time, I look at it like this now. I'm not trying to say I'm pro gaming, but I mean, hey man, I'm a streamer. I gotta do that shit. But
Yeah.
it's like a gun. Do
Hmm.
guns kill people? Or is the person pulling the trigger the
Hmm.
one that kills the person? The gun is the object, it's the tool.
Yeah.
But that person chose to use that gun to kill that person. It's
Hmm.
same thing with gaming. Gaming itself didn't tell me to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Gaming itself didn't tell me to be a bully. It didn't tell
Hmm.
me to be racist. It didn't tell me to be sexist. It didn't tell me to be homophobic. It didn't tell me to be all these things that people are doing. They're like, oh, video games. No, it's that motherfucker that's just being it
Yep.
because they feel like nobody can touch them. Because if
Hmm.
you take that same individual that says that same shit into a crowd of people that would whoop their ass for that, they'll
They
be
would
a
not.
mouse.
Yep.
But you put them into a
Exactly.
lobby, all this is just a platform, just like social media, to just let you express yourself.
Yep.
And how you are, you can't blame the game for who you are. That's who you've
Yep.
always been.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
you're using Call of Duty or Madden or whatever to sit here and be talk. Like I think it's funny to a certain extent, but like I've seen some content creators, and I'm not trying to talk shit about them. Their gimmick and their niche is just being trolls, and I can't get along with that. Haha, fuck you, got him. Haha, we trolled him. Like wow, like you went out of your whole way just to be negative.
And yeah, and
But
those
that's
same
what you want to
people,
do.
yeah.
That's what you want to do. Hey, there's not. Hey, that's you. That's whatever. But I'm just kind of like, damn. I just it's amazing to me that people go to lengths to be so negative.
And then they're the same exact people that next week will be like hashtag mental health awareness. The fuck you mean? How you gonna say mental health awareness, but then you was over there trolling and pissing off 15 other people laughing about it?
Right?
So that's why I
Like
don't
it's
I
okay.
don't take them serious because I'm like, nah, you
Hmm.
ain't. Nah, you're just crying to the world. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. All these people that are being this type of way, like, is this hundreds of people. Like even like what I'm saying, I see so many people that do that. So like if anybody feels if shoe fits, hey, I'm the one that said it, not Jimmy. So you can hate on me all you want. But at the end of the day, I'm not talking shit about nobody in particular. It's just you see this every day.
Hmm.
Bro, there's people I've never seen before, foreign, that do shit like that too. Like it doesn't matter. You could be it could be in English, it could be in Spanish, it could be in Greek, it could be in Austrian, it could be in whatever the fuck
Hmm.
you want it to be. A dick is a dick.
Yep.
There is no language for dick. It's just who you are. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And it's just like at the end of the day, you didn't need a game to be an asshole. You
Yeah, you
didn't.
already were an asshole.
Yeah. So it's like, all these people that do this stuff for that gimmick, yeah, I get it. But then look at you later. You're not happy. Why? Because you focus so much on negative energy that now you're
Hmm.
drained.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then you focus on having a community built around a negative energy. When they get tired of it because they want to have some positivity in their life, they're going to leave you in a heartbeat.
Mhm.
Versus if you build your stuff, whether it becomes your gaming friend group, your team, if you're a streamer, your community, if you build it around realistic goals and views and positive, like, goals and views, you're going to have a way more fruitful harvest when it comes to your community growth, your team growth, your partner growth, because you're focusing on things that will grow, not
Mhm.
things that will decay and die. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And it's just like people need to peep that, because if they don't, you're just wasting everyone's time, including your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's why, like, even these things, like, I always say it, like, I get mad about cheating. I'm like, I mean, they're just negative, and I feel
Yeah.
my biggest thing is I just say I feel bad for that person.
Yeah. I was like, you really got to go out of your way to go cheat. I
Yeah,
was like,
all that
really,
shit.
what type of person do you really have to be to go
Hmm.
and you think it's funny? In my
Yeah,
head, it just blows my mind. I'm like, wow, I get it. I was like, I just did this one time or whatever. But like, if that's your, like,
your whole
like, there's
thing.
people out there right now, and you told me about the whole Apex thing. Oh, hey man, there's this
That
cheat.
was
Let's go do it.
crazy.
Let's go just cheat for 5, 6 hours in a row and laugh. I'm like, what kind of person are you? What kind of negativity? What kind of like person are you? You can sit there and you think that's funny just to be an asshole for 5 hours playing a video game just because you can.
Yeah, and I had to mute game chat because I didn't know I had it on, because the same people at the end just started screaming the N word at the end of the game. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, like,
Mm-hmm.
why? What is the point in doing that, man? So
Right.
that's why I'm just like, you know what? You're just hurting inside and you just want that attention. You need someone to reach out. And I hope someone freaking helps you. Because at the end of the day, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, there's nothing I could do. But it was like, bro, that TDM just came out. It was like day one. And people were
Right.
already exploiting maps. I'm like, yo, are you serious? But it's
Yeah,
like,
you have nothing else better to do and just to ruin a game for a million of other people who enjoy playing
yeah.
it.
And that's why
Like
that's why I try to teach K Money. Like,
yeah,
that's why I just walked. I didn't even get mad. I was just like, this sucks. But
yeah.
at the end of the day, I gotta control myself and how I
Mm-hmm.
react. Because okay, you're being an asshole, but if I get pissed off and heated and rage, I'm giving you what you want.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna move away from it. And if you don't
Yep.
like it, oh man, it's just like a bully in school. I'm not focusing.
Yep. See you later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, because
crazy.
it's funny how you said that. Like, I hardly ever get mad at or ever talk trash playing games. Like, a while, like, I think a week ago, somebody was like, you took my kill. And I clipped it because I thought I was going to post it and I didn't. But I was like, this guy's like, hey, man, you took my kill. I'm like, no, he's like, hey, man, did you shoot him? I'm like, yeah, I got him. Let's keep going. You took my kill. I was like, you're that guy? Really? We're playing a team game. You get mad because I took one kill? Are you kidding me?
And
Go
play
ahead,
solo.
man. Take your points. Go ahead. Are you kidding me? You're the guy. And like I was starting to catch myself like giving this guy shit, and I just stopped. I'm like, why am I getting mad? Like this guy's upset that I took his kill, and we're playing Resurgence. You're gonna die and come back and it would just I caught myself. I was like, USA. You know what I mean? Just like I'm having fun. Like
Exactly.
I don't need to entertain the negativeness of this rando in this lobby that I'm gonna play with one time, and that's it.
It's true. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm glad
man.
you said that too, to give you guys some, like, exiting like vibes to understand like why it's like I love these joint podcasts, man, is because for those of you that don't know, Jimmy is a very level-headed, cool-minded individual, and I'm the
I try to be.
hothead. Jimmy is very peaceful, neutral. I'm very confrontational and aggressive, and but we still feed off of each other well. Like I am becoming a
Mhm,
little bit more level-headed and cool and calm. One, being a dad, but two,
mhm.
surrounding myself with positive people that can give me
Exactly.
positive traits like Jimmy here. And I
Mhm,
even shout out to my boy Ollie. He doesn't really rage like that either. He's hella chill no matter what's going on. You can't tell if
mhm.
he's happy, sad, if he just shit himself, or if he's just happy. You don't know. What's good?
Yeah,
He's there. And it's just
yeah,
like, and it's good to have people like that to kind of mellow you out. Because I
yeah,
remember we was playing Warzone earlier, and
yeah.
those people came
You
back. I was
kidding
like,
me?
"You bitch!" And I was just,
God damn it. Are you kidding me? I can't even get a goddamn gun.
yeah. Oh, dude, that was so funny, bro. That's the one thing about those games that kill me is when I jump in and I can't get a gun. That one guy that got a gun is chasing me, and I'm like, "Leave me alone! I don't even
God
have a
damn
gun." And
it.
I
This
finally
is
get
why I
one.
don't play this goddamn game.
Oh, I was so mad. Well, then that one
Protect your
person,
peace.
yeah,
Protect your energy.
that one person killed me, and I came back in and started punching him in the back of the head.
Right?
I'm screaming at them like, "You thought you was gonna kill me?" Oh, dude, that game is hilarious. Like like now, but that's another thing too. You get people that you can be cool with, and that you
Yeah,
can
and
look
still
back
have
on
a good
those
time.
moments and laugh about it. Like
Yeah,
now,
have a
at
good
that
time.
moment, I was pissed, but now, oh,
Yeah.
that shit's
Yeah, it
hilarious.
was funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Man, this was a great episode, man. I'm
Yeah,
glad we sat here and talked about all the different things when it comes to gaming, pros and cons growing up, how it affects our kids, how is a good thing, how is a bad thing, the possibility of being in this industry in a different way, designer, music, graphics, pro gamer, like just it just there's a lot of good positivity and good things when it comes with video games. And the world is changing, and yes, there's a bad stigma still, but I mean, for overall, I think that gaming is a good thing in the world. As long as you fucking are not an asshole before you play, you're gonna probably have a good time.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, man.
It's
Well,
not the
man.
game, it's you. Now
Yep.
you can determine your story. Just because your character has a story doesn't mean you don't with the way that you portray yourself. That you're gonna be the hero or the villain. It's not the game, it's you.
Yep. A
It's
lot of
true.
people be villains and shit. Well,
Yeah.
let's wrap it up for episode number siete. This was fun.
Hell yeah.
Check us out, guys. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitch. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We love doing these podcastings, and this is an extension of ourselves and our
Hmm.
individual content. But we come together to do this kind of things, and we hope that you guys continue checking this out and supporting what we got going on, guys. We really greatly appreciate the time and your continued support.
Definitely, man. Thank you guys for everything.
For
Appreciate you
sure, man.
guys.
From us, Jimmy Dukes and my boy here, the unfortunate one. We'll catch you guys around next week. Every Wednesday, we'll be dropping them. We plan to do at least 10 to 12 episodes for this season, and we'll go from there, guys. We want to make sure that we do these on a consistent basis, but not OD it and get we want to make sure that the content that we put out together is meaningful. It's fun to do it, and we're not doing it just to do it. So
Got
we're not
that
gonna have
balance,
like a
baby.
yeah, we're not gonna do 100 episodes of this, but we're the episodes that we do. It's gonna be we do
I gotta do now. Damn
everything
it.
we do. I hope you guys like it, man. Until next time, my name is Jimmy Dukes. It's my
The
boy,
unfortunate
unfortunate.
one.
Peace out, guys. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out, homies.
Be easy, guys.
Eee.